Hey guys, Alan here, coming to you from the workbench, the painting bench out in the new game room. And I'm working on a little project here I wanted to share with you guys so that I can show you guys what it looks like as we go through the process, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So I've got this truck here, this Opel truck, and as you can see, what I've done here is I've just shot some black primer on it. I brushed on some steel color, and then on top of that did some rust. Now what I'm going to do is take this product here, this liquid mask from Vallejo. I've used some liquid masks before from different companies, but I've never used this one from Vallejo before, so I'll be interested to see how this works. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a kind of a small, kind of a little bit of a ratty brush here and get some liquid mask on it, and I'm going to go around and dab it on the rusty areas here and there, you know, and everywhere, and basically mask off some of this rust. And then what I'm going to do is, after that's dry, paint the entire truck, and then we'll come back and peel off that liquid mask, revealing the rusty metal underneath, and the effect should be peeled paint and rusted metal underneath. So what I'm going to do right now is just open this up and get a little bit of it out here, and we'll see how this works. I don't want a whole lot on my brush because I want to kind of speckle it around a little. Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty wet. You can't really kind of dry brush this, but I mean, that would probably be the best effect. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put it on spotty, and I'll come back and do multiple layers if I think I need to. A little bit on the top of the headlight there. And I don't know if you can pick it up. Yeah, I think you can. I'm just doing little spots here and there, some spots connected to others to make larger areas. But I want the effect to be fairly subtle when it's done. I don't want this to look like a truck that's been, you know, sitting out on a farm for 50 years. I just want it to look like it's been through some recent hard times and getting a little worn out. Okay, this stuff here is actually boogering up in the brush already, so that's pretty cool. It dries fast. So down here on the step, I want to put a bunch of little spots. Up here on the door. Of course, got to be careful not to go outside of the areas where there's rust, otherwise it'll be just black primer showing through, and that'll look kind of silly. So areas where if they stuck their arm out the window, they would wear away at the paint there a little bit. Along the top here. And like that, just going around. It's hard to know how much is enough and how much is too much. I mean, until you see the final product at the end, and by then it's too late. So I'm just kind of randomly doing what I think might be good. I need a little bit more of this. It's already drying in these other areas where I did it already, so I'm going to go back and add a little. Whoops. Yeah, it's drying on my water cap there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera here. I think you get the idea of the effect that I'm doing here. I want to do this, let it all dry, and then I'll spray on the color, and let's see what we get. Alright, so we're back here, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the liquid mask off, and I found this sort of foam brush. I think it's used for something in applying makeup, but I thought I might just kind of rub that and see if it works. And I've already started over here, see if you guys can see that, and it does seem to be working. It's a bit of a process, but it does seem to be working. See if I can show you guys what's happening here. It's taking off the liquid mask, and it might actually be kind of peeling away a little more paint, because the paint is still kind of fresh on here. I just painted it a few minutes ago and then hit it with the heat gun to try to, you know, finish it off so I wouldn't be here all night trying to do this. But that's kind of a cool effect anyways, if it is peeling more paint off. Seems like I may have used a little more liquid mask than I intended to. It's really hard when you're putting it on to kind of gauge how much you're using, because it kind of goes on clear. But I think I'm kind of basically getting the effect I wanted. It's going to take some more weathering and stuff like that to kind of blend it all, but as you can see, the rust is showing through. So I think I might have done it right. Let's do along here on that door. I don't know if this foam brush thing is the right tool for this job, but it does seem to be doing what I want it to do. So I think I did a little here on the door. Now down in the steps down here, that's going to be a little harder to do. Well, not really. It's kind of just rubbing right out. Sort of around the fender here. It's revealing more of the rust than I kind of wanted, and I think that could be because the paint is still pretty fresh and it's peeling back a little as the liquid mask comes off. But I think the effect might be okay anyways. You never know till you're done how it's going to look. It's always kind of a little bit of a gamble. And I can go back over this with a dry brush with some of the green ochre, whatever the, and kind of go back over it a little so the effect is less. And I might do that in a few areas. And I guess if I wanted rusty metal showing through the paint, I have absolutely accomplished that mission. So so that's kind of cool. Again, I think a little more than I had in mind, but for a first attempt at this technique, I think it's going to be okay. And this model is going to be heavily weathered. Oh, I just broke off the headlight. That'll have to go back on. So anyways, this model is going to be very heavily weathered and very dirty, and that's going to subdue these effects a little bit also, and that is totally fine. Get down here on that step. I did right in the middle of the door. There's an area I did. That windowsill. All right. I wonder what color that grill on the front should be. I don't know if those got painted or not. I'm gonna have to do a little research and see if those just got painted with everything else or if there's some other color. Okay, so there it is. It is definitely peeled paint showing metal and rust through. I think I kind of like it. It came out differently than I thought it would, but I think it's still okay. So, and there you go, that's that. I got to put this headlight back on, and actually there was some liquid mask along the top of this. So the top of that has some metal and rust showing through. So there it goes. I think I like that. I'm going to have to finish the wheels, put them on, weather the whole thing, and then see what it looks like. But for now, that's what it looks like, and kind of cool. All right, boys, here it is. I think I'm going to call this a success. See if I can get it up here where you guys can see it, if it'll focus. There we go. The chipped metal came out pretty cool. The chipped paint, I mean, and the rusted metal came out pretty well, I think. Got some weathering on here, you know, weathering powders, give it that dusty look and everything. But yeah, I think it came out pretty good. I've got to dig up the crew for this gun back here and get them done, and then I got to put a bunch of empty casings on the ground, on the decking here, and maybe an ammo box or something. And I think it'll look pretty cool. I mean, I think it does look pretty cool, and I think it'll definitely do the job. I'm really looking forward to Rubicon coming out with their plastic Quad 20 flak gun, because this Warlord metal one only exists on Earth to make my life miserable. It was a real challenge to get together, and actually while I was working on this, one of these gun shields came off and there was a pain getting it back on. I'm just over metal kits. I don't mind metal miniatures, especially if they're cast in one piece, but a kit like this with a lot of little fiddly parts, it's just a real pain in the backside. But anyways, it came together and it looks good, and it's gonna deliver some hurt down the game board, so it should be cool. So final thoughts on the rusted metal chipping paint situation. I think it came out fine. I like the overall effect, and I think it's gonna be a decent looking model. So I'm gonna take some stills and upload those to the video so you can see them and get a better look at how this thing really looks and judge for yourself. But like I said, I think it's fine. I'm happy with the results. I think the technique I used is pretty good. I don't know how I could change it really. Came out fine. Yeah, it'll work. It's definitely game table quality, that's for sure. It's not going to win any awards at an IPMS contest, but for gaming, it will do the job. So there you go. That's it for tonight. And you guys remember to keep on gaming.